So, we've been through multiple launch delays, other products being simultaneously flung at us, all under the guise of a day before mega broadcast, and I've lost track of all the missed deadlines. There's also been that whole volunteers saga, brief hype splashes, just too numerous to list, and yeah, this has been a bizarre marketing and development strategy from the word go. More recently, we've seen a promised raw gameplay footage reveal by the end of January also being canceled, with this latest round of developing stories about some mysterious Steam bug delisting the #2 most wishlisted game on Steam. We've also got a trademark drama and then a reversal of stories developing into a, yeah, we plan to delay the day before, all before this trademark saga. You know what, screw it. You know what? The issues are too numerous to list. You know the deal with the day before, so we might as well just let it fly. Welcome back to the channel. This is LtBuzzLitebeer, and today we just received our promised 10 minutes of gameplay footage, and just pointing this out, but the word raw was quietly removed from the latest announcement, and for good reason. Now, just being upfront and honest, this wasn't all bad. You're not going to get a hot take commentary from me on this one, but be forewarned, I am going to be brutally honest with everything I just saw, and I'm going to get into this all in just a moment. Everything I noticed, the omissions, my thoughts and impressions, you know, kind of what you've come to expect from me and my channel. Thank you again for your overwhelming support for my day before uploads. If you happen to like what you see, please take just a moment to smash that big, beautiful subscribe button and make sure to ring the bell to receive my latest upload alerts. All right, let's dive right into this one. Okay, so we might as well start at the beginning. First things first, let's talk about the positives. They released the footage. I mean, I was concerned they wouldn't. We got an hour delay and then a bit of a YouTube premiere countdown on top of that, but step number one was to get it posted and live, and they did it. Now, as of posting this video, we also received a tweet that the day before Steam page is in the process of being reinstated. I just checked, they aren't back yet, and I'm still wondering why all these misleading statements were needed in the first place. Steam bugs, trademark issues, which turned into a completely new story about planned delays. Yeah, just not needed. Let's first talk about the 10 minutes of gameplay we just watched, and I had to check it back. It's literally right at 10 minutes from start to finish. So first up, the environments are all familiar, right? We've seen this rural suburban area in previous trailers, and of course at the Nvidia CES live event. The textures, lighting, reflections, ground clutter, basically all that pretty stuff, it's just not here anymore. It's not bad, but from what I'm told, it's really hard to make something look bad in Unreal Engine 5. Was this footage stunning like what we've seen in many of those previous vertical slice trailers? Hell no. But in a way, this is actually the most real I've ever seen the day before, and it feels the most believable to me. I also wanted to point out the elements layered into this opening area, like those abandoned cars, are visually really rough to look at. And I mean like 10 years ago generation technology, really rough to look at. The footage does show off just a bit of the crafting and weapon modification systems contained within the game. Not nearly enough for my taste, which I will touch on in a moment, but there seems to be some basic ammunition and medical supplies crafting availability. Now, by far, the most crafting looked to be for weapon mods. The footage shows a bunch of mods being swapped onto an AK-74. There is a status window that shows mods making differences to weapon power, distance, fire rate, and sustainability, but there's really no way of knowing exactly how those stats affect the weapon, if at all. Also, the non-animated muzzle flashes are back, like we saw in the Nvidia CES footage, where they used this one-frame PNG flashes instead of actual muzzle flash animations. By far, one of the weakest portions of this entire 10 minutes of footage is the zombie combat. The player mows them down quickly, and they never get really close. We never get to see a zombie swarm, any melee action, or any close quarters combat. They just get served up as cannon fodder for this showcase, and this was really a lost chance to show off this portion of their game. I mean, it is a zombie survival game. At one point, as the duo runs from the suburbs into the city, they pass through what looks like a checkpoint that looks directly ripped straight out of The Division. Even the Division Dark Zone gates are here, the abandoned military vehicles, road barriers. I'm not saying this looks just like The Division because it doesn't, not even close graphically. Just the setting and assets lining the streets are ripped right out of The Division. There's just a tiny bit of ground clutter present here, but it adds so little to what this environment should actually look like, especially considering what is unfolded in the world. Overall, there's just a ton of running through the environment, which I honestly fully expected. I do like the ability to interact with objects like the opening of car doors while foraging for supplies, and by the way, speaking of your inventory, we only once got to see the player use consumables, which they are constantly picking up in this trailer. I think they drank something. Inventory looks very Tarkov-y to me. Most items require one square to house, and this whole trailer felt like, yeah, they were on a scavenging hunt. Equipment slots look to be 2 primary weapons, a sidearm, a combat melee weapon, and the normal body armor accessories like the upper body armor, helmet, backpack, etc. There's also this whole off-brand signage throughout the game. Soul Foods Market instead of Whole Foods, Bebsi instead of Pepsi, BVS instead of CVS. Yeah, you get the point here. Overall, the ADS elements looked somewhat decent. I mean, they did aim down the sights with the hollow sight, and it really didn't stick out as bad. The image looked fairly clean, and there was a hint of sway. And after looking back over the trailer again, you've also got 3 different meters for your character. There's health and what looks like energy and hydration, and maybe that's why the player drank something partway through this footage. I don't know. There was no explanation given here, just me noticing things. And yeah, that's about it. So it's time to get brutally honest with the day before footage we just saw. This game is nowhere what we initially saw in the January 2021 trailer or from any of those following RTX events. I mean, hell, even their 8-second mega event trailers look to be on a much higher graphical fidelity than this footage. And you would think that they would want to put their best foot forward after everything that's gone down, the delays, the public statements. I mean, yeah, you would think that they would want to make this footage pop as much as possible, and I'm just laying it out there. I don't think it was, and I personally think this is as good as the day before is going to get. When I don't fully understand a subject like game development, I try to reach out to those who do, and for this one, I consulted an active game dev with 20 plus years of experience, and this person has worked on some mega AAA titles in the past. Here's just some of the basic comments I received when I laid out my questions about the trailer. They felt that the footage looked real enough, but there really wasn't any there, like there was no substance to it. Nothing was showcased, no cover systems, no enemy attacks, no vaulting or mantling. Work was clearly put into this, and the footage looks to be in-engine, but it's heavily rehearsed, so it's not scripted and or pre-rendered. The weapon customization basically showed nothing other than bars moving around a bit, and then their final statement really kind of caught my attention here. I'm paraphrasing, but this is what they said. There was obviously work that's gone into this game, but the mechanics were extraordinarily limited and probably all there is so far to this game. So what we saw is basically all there is. One topic we discussed at length was the footage itself, kind of how it all went down. This is recorded while playing a build of the game by an actual live player, but like I said, it looks heavily rehearsed. Only take this path, interact with these objects, because if you stray off the path, the game simply will not function or just outright crash. And this kind of came through for me as well with this footage. I was glad to see them showing off something, finally, but you know, for me, it was very, I don't know, just meh, okay, I guess. I polled my YouTube community while scripting this one and got very much the same results. Only 6% of nearly 800 votes felt the footage looked of high quality, while a whopping 44% said they would just hard pass on the game based on what they just saw. Now, I would have loved to have seen some vehicle interactions, maybe some vehicle combat. We've seen that APC in a previous trailer. Here was a perfect chance to showcase some PvP. Not here. They've spoken about a central hub where you can interact with NPC vendors and other players. Again, not here. Other than scavenging and crafting a few items, we saw a lot of running, mowing through some very basic zombies, and the cityscape. I did want to applaud this tiny dev team from fntastic. They seem to have produced a playable version of the game here, but from everything I just saw, just being completely objective here, this looks generic, as if the team booted up Unreal Engine 5 into the shooter game template and then replaced all the artwork from the Marketplace store. fntastic then showed another video with a dev playing the game on PC while they kind of showed off the screen and keyboard as if to prove that the game is playable, which was probably not a good idea because it further reinforced the downgrades made to this game. And to be honest, I would probably expect this to look even a bit less than this if and when this game ever does launch. Now, based on what we just saw, was the day before going to launch ready for market March 1st? Yeah, absolutely not. Will it progress much beyond this point by their estimated November launch date? I honestly don't know. I think this was a golden and missed opportunity for the team at fntastic to showcase the robust gameplay and core mechanics of this game. They could have shown some vehicle gameplay. They didn't. They could have shown some PvP. They didn't. They could have shown the hub or the vendors or maybe some sort of zombie horde moment to really install some tension into this trailer, and they did none of that. This whole thing just felt like somebody was running through a tech demo and doing a little bit of scavenging and a little bit of crafting, and then at the end they just mowed down a few helpless NPCs. As always, leave me your feedback on the day before and this 10 minutes of footage we just got to see. What did you think? Is this enough to prove to you that the game is legit, or did it do more harm than good? Hit that sub button and ring the bell to stay up to date on all my latest day before uploads. If you can rate and or share this video, it would be greatly appreciated. Remember, you can find and follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, and of course in my open community Discord server, links to all of which can be found in the video description and pinned comments below. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.